working with YouTube as well. So this week's theme is If I Loved Myself Then. And this is a really powerful theme that's going to guide us through the week. And it's all about mindset. And it's connecting in with the deep understanding of our inherent worthiness. So I'll let people start to join, and then we'll go through it. It's not sunny where I am, Sherry, but happy Monday to you too. Excuse me. I hope everybody had a wonderful weekend. I take my weekends off now completely from social, which isn't 100% true because I did post my yurt for sale yesterday, but that is like no work. So I don't respond to emails. I don't really respond to messages. And that will actually kind of play into this theme. So we will start chatting about it. So this phrase, if I loved myself, then ... It basically is encompassing what it means to love yourself and to take the mindset of complete self-love. So being in integrity with your inherent worthiness and acting from this space. And so we're going to explore this week how we step out of integrity with our self-love, with our inherent worthiness, and how we can kind of bring ourselves back and why we want to. To begin with, so as this is the start of the week, I'd focus a little bit more on the theory behind this, the reason why we are exploring this topic. And we have what's known as the original desire and the original fear. So this is something that Thich Nhat Hanh shares about quite a bit. And it really speaks to where our break from our worthiness comes from, where we knew our worthiness completely, and then what happened, what shifted us away from that. Good morning, Paula. And so it's very simple. So as a child, we are born worthy, completely worthy of love, of attention, of all good things. We are completely able to create our world, our experience. And then we have a break from this. And so this happens when we start to identify our caregivers as the holders of love, the holders of our worthiness, of our attention, of affection for us, of attention for us. And so our original desire is for our caregivers to love us, for our caregivers to show us, to teach us, to mirror back our worthiness so that we know that we are worthy. And so we want their love, we want their attention and their care. And so our fear, our original fear, is tied to this original desire. Our original fear is that we are not lovable, that we are not worthy of this love, of this care, of this attention. And this fear gets really deeply rooted in us because, our caregivers are human. They are not they're not divine exclusively. We are human beings. And so they're going to be socialized. They're going to have experiences that are not in alignment with our divine worthiness. They will reject. They will teach us ways that we are not good enough. And it's not intentional. It's not meant out of malice necessarily. It's just how that works. And we all have this original fear built in us. And what ends up happening through this process of socialization is we often change ourselves. So we tailor our actions, our choices to ensuring that we do not lose the love, the approval, the acceptance of our caregivers or those that we are attached to. And as we get older, our attachment model kind of expands and we go beyond just, parents and teachers and move into intimate relationships. And so these can become our major attachment sources. And so we will then transfer this same belief that our worthiness exists, outside of us, and that our intimate partners and our family and teachers hold our worthiness. They hold the secret to us being happy and fulfilled and completely lovable. And so this is all very, very natural. But you can see there's an issue here, right? Because what ends up happening is we're pandering to other people. We are trying to make other people happy to fit whatever their belief is of us, whatever the socialization has taught them, and it's passed down through them. And oftentimes, there's experiences in the greater world, such as now, this is a great example. A lot of fears are coming up for people, a lot of struggles and memories of trauma. And these are becoming really highly activated. And they might be activated specifically in us, but they're also being activated in others. And then that is being shared through relationship. And so we are not necessarily acting out of our own truth, out of our own belief system. So this mindset shift that we're going to look at this week is, if I loved myself, then ... If I believed in and embraced my complete inherent worthiness, then what? What choices would I make? How would I communicate with others? How would I shift and change my own belief patterns and habits? Because through the process of socialization, this is where beliefs and patterns come from, is through socialization as children. So inherently, a lot of our beliefs are rooted in unworthiness. And so in order for us to change that, in order for us to step more fully into worthiness, we need to address that. We need to address the beliefs. And so this mindset shift of imagining what it is that you would choose, who it is that you would be, what words you would speak, is all about connecting in with that inherent worthiness and then acting from this space. So that's a lot, right? This isn't simple work that will, just everything changes in a moment. And absolutely, you can make significant shifts even in a week, even in a day or a meditation. But belief patterns run really deep. And our experience of fear of losing that love or that acceptance runs really deep in us. And so it takes time and it takes continual practice. And you might feel really amazing after a meditation, such as what we'll do today. And then, you'll start to slide into that story of unworthiness again. And so be so gentle with yourself as you are learning about this, as you are connecting more deeply in with your truth. And also know that as you do this work, you will be potentially triggering this original fear. So if you're making the shift to share your beliefs, your truth with another, and it goes in opposite or it conflicts with what you feel the other person believes or accepts. So meaning, like as an example, me sharing a truth with my partner that I know might hurt him, or that I know really could create a split or could create some sort of difficulty in our relationship. There's a difficulty there, because in one way I'm being pulled to speak my truth, and then in the other way that original fear is being triggered, of loss of love, of loss of acceptance. And so the work is about learning how to be in your integrity and to make choices and act and speak from this place. And the more that we do that, so we can start really slowly, but the more that we do that, the more our relationships and our choices are rooted in that space already. So the reason that there's conflict in relationships when we share what's in our heart, what's in our integrity, is because that relationship wasn't built on your integrity. Most of the times we connect with people, we build relationships based on our hurt, based on our fears, based on the need for love. So just sharing a little bit of complexity here as we move through this and how it might trigger some things for you. And to know that it's okay and that you can go really slowly. You don't need to jump into the deep end right away. And I almost encourage you not to. I encourage you to start really slowly. It might be something as simple as sharing, I don't actually like watching football on Sundays. I'd prefer to read or go for a walk. Like that's a simple truth, as opposed to, hey, I would really prefer to go live in the mountains and I'm going to go do that right now, which is for sure my truth. But at the same time, I'm slowly moving towards things. So I hope that gives some framework for what we're going to be moving through this week. And we're going to be looking at this mindset shift and embodying this. It's almost like a visualization. So placing yourself in the shoes of your higher self, of the version of you that is completely in your integrity. And remembering that doesn't mean you have to take that specific action, but from a place of complete integrity, of being in the truth of who you are, of your inherent worthiness, then we're going to be able to make choices that are in support of that. Okay, so that's a good, nice, long-winded explanation. I'll share more about that in the podcast this week. I was going to record it last week, but just without Wi-Fi, I had to wait till today. So I'll share that. So if you want more insight into that, it'll be really supportive for that. So I'll hopefully release that today or tomorrow. So let us find our comfortable seat of meditation if you're not already there. And so find balance on both sides of your body. So really move and shift until you are in support on both sides of your body. Oftentimes we're seated in a way that might feel comfortable, but not necessarily supportive. And in this meditation, we're going to be exploring the part of us that is hurting. The part of us that really needs our love, really needs us to stand in our integrity, to stand up for ourselves. It's so important to remember that you are the center of your universe. Oftentimes we forget this. We think that our life is about being in service exclusively to others. We forget that we are the most important person in our life. And this might be, again, because of our fear of loss, of love and acceptance. And so we turn to coping strategies of helping others or really focusing our attention outwards, fearing what exists within us. As you start to settle into your body, find an ease, a softening in your muscles. And at the same time, really powerful, energetic lifting through the core, the center of your body, holding you up and allowing your muscles, your body to just drape over, to relax completely. And find your breath. Find this continual reminder of your worthiness. This affirming, life-giving process that has been gifted to you. Every time that you breathe in, it is a gift, a reminder that you are alive, that you are deserving of life. And allow that breath to move through your energetic body, bringing vitality and aliveness with it. Feeling the cells of your body waking up, feeling your energy moving effortlessly through the physical body. Really keeping your attention on the breath. In this way, giving the mind focus, giving the mind something to watch, something to be aware of. Now I invite you to draw your attention to your heart center. And I like to place a hand here. You can do that if you'd like, or place two hands or prayer position. So we're drawing our attention to our heart center because this is the seat of our compassion. This is the seat of our remembering of worthiness, of our remembering of truth. Our heart already knows the truth of our worthiness, and it teaches us when we become out of alignment with worthiness. So it might feel emotions of resentment, jealousy, sadness, of grief, of happiness, of joy, of love. Always teaching us what it means to be in integrity with our inherent worthiness. And our worthiness is not contingent on only positive emotions. All is welcome. All aspects of self are welcome. So we're going to sit with the heart space. I'll offer you a few minutes of silence, just really feeling into this space. and contemplating this space, contemplating your worthiness, the acceptance of who you are as you are. Now I invite you to contemplate with your attention on your heart still, where you have sacrificed self love in the service of others or in that desire for love and acceptance from others. So, where have you sacrificed self love and worthiness for the love and attention of others? And now, the final question of inquiry, asking of our heart, of this truth of our worthiness. If I loved myself, then what would you choose instead? So, in understanding where you've sacrificed self love, now that you are contemplating it from a new angle, really visualize and be with this question of inquiry in this same situation, in perhaps just one of the ways I have self sacrificed. If I loved myself completely, what would I choose instead? What would I do? What would I say? Good. And now let's take a few deep breaths to really anchor into this heart space and to allow the movement of energy. So inhale through the nose, breathing into the heart. Exhale, release. Inhale. Exhale, soften. Inhale. Exhale, really become aware of the truth of your worthiness, of the love that exists already within you. And really feeling into your heart space, the support that exists here, that is your birthright, that is yours to own. Standing so firmly in your personal power and knowing, sensing, feeling that as you step into the rest of your day, as you step into this week, that you are that much more in integrity with your worthiness. That you will be making choices, that you will be speaking from, that you will be acting out of this space of your worthiness. And offer yourself gratitude for your practice, offer yourself appreciation for this work, for connecting into this truth, for remembering, for being in integrity. And you can close meditation with any blessings that feel good for you. I wish you such a beautiful day and week to come. My heart recognizes the light within yours, and it really, this is where my understanding of truth comes from, because when I share from my space. I share from the space of my heart's truth, from my integrity. And so I know parts of your heart because of that. So my heart salutes yours. When you feel ready, you can open your eyes and come back to the space. So that is the beginning of our practices for this week. And I shared that we were going to be doing some shifts, some changes to our meditation. And this is the first week where it's a full week of this theme. And I love themed work because we can go so much deeper. We can really go through the layers of self. So as a reminder of how this works, today was all about touching into this greater theme. And then as we move through the week, we go through the layers of self, through the layers of consciousness, through the koshas. So tomorrow, we're going to be touching into how this theme relates to the body. And then on Wednesday, it's how it relates to the mind. Then Thursday is how it relates to the energy, the prana, the breath. And then Friday is creation. And I love how it culminates in creation, because from that space, we've explored so much. We've really mined our heart, our soul, our body for a greater understanding. And then by the time we reach Friday, by the time we reach that innermost layer of creation, we can act from a space of really standing in that personal power and in greater awareness. So thank you so much for practicing with me today. Such a blessing, and happy Monday. I hope that you have such a wonderful day and week, and hopefully we'll get to see you again tomorrow.